So I just want to preface this video with an apology that I don't really make that much eye contact with the camera because I've been reading from a script on my iPad, and because I mess up my words a lot. So I do want to apologize for my lack of eye contact, but I do hope the video is enjoyable. Let's get started. We recording? We're recording, yes. Okay. So this is take 5. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome to my video about the K-pop industry. Today we will focus on the industry as a whole, how idols are treated, different instances of performances. So let's begin by talking about different types of live performances. So, groups will often perform at concert venues on short notice, leaving fans with a very short window of time to acquire tickets. This ground to a halt during the height of the pandemic, but is coming back at full force. Groups also have debut performances, in which they do a choreographed dance, singing, and all the typical things K-pop performers do in a regular performance, only in this instance, it is the group's first live performance. It is aired on Korean TV, on the radios, and is available to watch on streaming services and YouTube around the world, in places that allow those services at least. Yes. So those are the main types of live performances that you'll see K-pop idols do. But they also do recorded performances. So let's talk about that briefly, and then we'll get into the industry. So, K-pop groups release songs regularly, releasing singles or sometimes albums, which is a compilation of their most recent songs put into one area. They often have producers in their agency that will compose the beats and backing track of their songs, but they often write their own lyrics, choreograph their own dances, and sing the songs with their own voices. Many of their most popular songs will be released with a music video, or an MV, as the fans call it. These are loved a lot by the fans, and as the idols are often doing an engaging dance that's not too difficult so that fans can learn, but it's still fun to do and watch. In my true fashion, I didn't read the script properly, and I forgot to mention that this is the part of the video sorry about my hiccups, where I start talking about the industry as a whole. Okay, here we go. The main record labels were formed in the late 1990s. Their names are JYP Entertainment, SM Entertainment, and YG Entertainment, being formed in 1997, 95, and 96 respectively. The agency names stand for their founders' initials, all three of whom were former dancers or musicians. Their names were Park Jin-young, Lee Soo-man, and Yang Gun-hyun-suk. Apologies for my less than perfect pronunciation of their names. An article posted in 2012 details that agencies basically own their idols, acting as a manager, promoter, and an agent that controls quite literally every aspect of the idol's career, and by association, a big part of their life. Think about it. These people's life is their career. They very often cannot afford to lose it, and it also means so much to them. So this is quite the power imbalance. The agency controls the idol's concerts, sponsors, publishing, and appearances on media and television. SM and JYP Entertainment are located in the district of Gangnam, where there are many friend groups of young children who would do anything to see their favorite idol. Thus why the idols don't make very many public appearances outside of concerts, traveling in vehicles with tinted windows, wearing sunglasses and masks, and just making sure they're in disguise just for the sake of not being mobbed. Both JYP and SM offices are slightly underwhelming on the inside, juxtaposing the perfect idyllic view that fans have of the idols. YG Entertainment has slightly more luxurious facilities, with 10 plus recording studios, many producers, and in general a more comfortable lifestyle. But this does not diminish the unethical scandals that have come about in the past in all of these companies. Idols are commodities, and they are expected to appear flawless so as to make sure that they attract the most fans, thus making the companies receive more revenue. Okay. According to an article posted in 2016, in the past, when idols were recruited by K-pop companies, some of them would sign contracts colloquially known as slave contracts that can last up to 10 plus years. These contracts wouldn't allow for proper contact with the outside world, and they often barely get any compensation or payment for their work, the idols. People training to become idols will live in dorms. They learn how to sing and dance for many hours of the day. They will be told what they can and cannot eat. They will be expected not to date anybody, as fans are more appealed by performers who are single. And they were expected to appear as perfect and told how to behave. When rumors would break out that a K-pop idol, especially a woman, was dating, acting a fool, or basically just not holding up the facade of perfection, then she would be heavily scrutinized by the fans and general public, often taking a huge toll on her career. These contracts are not used today, and the Korean public has shifted the mindset to prioritize mental health of the idols much more. So, idols still do singing and dancing rehearsals, but they are not tied to a slave contract, and they can withdraw at any time they like. Often they just don't want to, because they enjoy being there. The industry, much like any industry under capitalism, is motivated by profit. This means that there is no shortage of unethical practices that take place within. Trainees and idols often develop eating disorders so that they can become as skinny as humanly possible. This is because they will be heavily body shamed by fans and mainstream media if they even gain a tiny bit of weight. Often the idols choose to stay in the industry as they enjoy their time. Food, housing, living costs, and training are covered by the company, so idols do have a good reason to stay in. And rehearsals, although tiring, are fun and engaging. However, sometimes the rehearsals go on for too long because there's a time crunch. Thus, idols are overworked. This is a cause of concern, and it means that the idols from time to time are sleep deprived. This is an ethical issue. It is, however, good to hear that there have been legal requirements enacted that no longer allow companies to use these slave contracts, and in the late 2010s and 2020s, idols have been allowed to be more and more expressive and have been allowed to be much more authentic. I've watched a video a few days ago on YouTube by Savannah, also known as the Queer Kiwi, uploaded in May of 2021, and she makes a good point. Idols often start live streams on their own time, completely without company influence, simply because they enjoy it and they find happiness in interacting with fans. The authenticity that idols express creates a sense of community among fans and leads fans to have a strong emotional connection to the idol. This is good news, as it aims to deconstruct the perfect image forced upon the idols that was more popular back in the day and replace it with a real, genuine person. Something else that the big companies do to make a K-pop idol's experience more enjoyable and less emotionally taxing and draining is to allow them to take mental health breaks from time to time. The idols on break sometimes make appearances on the phone whilst their other members perform at a concert or an event, or live streams that they set up to check in with their fans, or sometimes they just want a few months of privacy, and big record labels have been allowing that more and more over the years. However, even without a company or co-workers shaming them, the media shows no mercy. News outlets, social media, magazines, and the likes make no effort to take into mind the impact their words have. Many of the idols' fans make unwanted comments about their bodies, pointing out every little flaw that they can find. Mainstream media does the same. This is seen in almost every single industry that involves performance, and is something that needs to change. So, in conclusion, today we have talked about the different types of live performances, recorded performances, and the general information about the K-pop industry. I hope it was enjoyable. I hope that my hiccups were not too distracting. I'm glad that they've gone away, and I hope that you are going to have an amazing day. All right, goodbye. My plushies say goodbye.